Happy New Week. This is the weekly reading of July 7th to July 13th. Happy New Week with this brand new energy of Uranus in Gemini. This is a quantum leap point. This is the shift point. This is the new chapter, new life, new era, new earth ending point. It's not gonna end right like that, but this, like, from a bigger picture, this is a pivotal turning point in human history. We are really entering into an uncharted territory that no one can really predict what's gonna happen in the near future, because Uranus is the archetype of unpredictability. And then according to history, yes, Uranus in Gemini can be the theme of war and aggression and a new innovative, right, technological evolution and all that kind of things. But the energy that we are under is way more than just Uranus in Gemini. This Uranus is speaking to Neptune, which just stationed retrograde on the 4th, and it is also aligning with Saturn, which will go retrograde at the end of this week. And then it is also trining Pluto, that is in retrograde in Aquarius. This Uranus is speaking to all those outer planets, and these outer planets are the representation of the cosmic consciousness. So this is the moment that we must, in a way, surrender and trust the higher, bigger patterns of reality, the cosmic forces and beyond, really, right? Eternity and infinity, which is beyond the conception of time and space. Old concepts of everything is falling apart. Old structures, old foundation, old beliefs and ideologies, and what we thought was real is in a way kind of shattering. Erosion is happening, so that, you know, all the deleting and corruption of the old system is happening, so that the new can emerge to start building the brand new foundation, so that we can start building a new earth, a new world based on that new set of energy, right? And with that change, chaos is always a part of it. But under this energy this week, with this Uranus just ingressed into Gemini, and with Capricorn full moon coming up, with Venus trining Pluto today under this energy. I spoke about Uranus in Gemini last night, but I missed a few points. So this ingress of Uranus into Gemini happened under two planets stationing. Kind of Uranus, Neptune just went into retrograde, so Neptune is barely moving. And then Saturn is coming to station to go retrograde on the 13th. So both of those planets are holding a momentum, which is the culmination point of each planet, which is Neptune, the planet of dream and imagination and fantasy and spirituality and the sense of oneness of all, and Saturn, the planet that is opposing of that, right? Structures, limitations and separations and boundaries and orders and norms and all of that. Those two planets are in a heightened point of their own journey, and then under this energy, Uranus moved into Gemini. And then also because of this strong presence of Venus with Uranus, Venus is now at 3 degrees of Gemini, and then it is trining Pluto perfect trine is happening today as I record this on July 7th, right? So this is Venus Pluto is always a very the strong theme of death, reverse transformation in relation to relationships, Venus, or feelings and love and value and the worth and how we communicate, because Venus is now in Gemini, how we express our love, how we express our own freedom, like all those kind of things, right, is gonna be a strong theme of this Uranus journey, as this is the first ingress of Uranus in Gemini for the next few months up to November 8th. Uranus is going to be in Gemini. So there is going to be a very big, strong theme of this retrograde, stationary energy. So stop, pause, reflect, readjust the energy, as well as readjusting our value system with this Venus and Pluto. And we can transform our emotional nature too under this energy, because the final few days of Uranus in 29 degrees of Taurus in conjunction with Venus brought up a lot of old themes to me individually, because that was a culmination point of that last 7-8 years, right? Uranus stays in one sign for about 7 years, because Uranus takes about 84 years to go around the sun. So Uranus ingressed into Taurus in 2018, and now for the first time Uranus is ingressing into Gemini, and this long journey, it's gonna stay up to 2032, right? It's gonna retrograde back in Taurus in November up to next April. But this is the wobbly point of the themes of old emotional triggers and some kind of stuff of that past 7 years may have surfaced, and then we may have had to deal with that. But this is like, okay, done, no more of that. I'm not repeating, because Uranus in Gemini is all about it's the choice, right? Gemini is a choice point. Dark, black, yes, right, wrong, right, light, dark, all that choice point. Am I gonna repeat or am I gonna evolve? Which path are we taking? That's the theme of Uranus in Gemini. And it's gonna be a big theme of that. A lot of choice, a lot of duality, a lot of kind of like pivotal turning point, choice point for all of us. But it's also, right, like I said this last night too, but we are moving out from very yin energy. A lot of planets were the water, Pisces, Saturn, Neptune were in Pisces, and Uranus was in Taurus. A lot of like yin energy, kind of like dense and heavy and power and structure, and there was a change happening in the underneath it, but we may felt a little sluggish or muggy space that we've moved through. But with this Uranus in Gemini, it can accelerate the speed of change. And then also Uranus is the planet of unpredictability. That's the main kind of a theme of Uranus, right? Uranus is unpredictable. Uranus is all about evolution, revolution, freedom, liberation, awakening. We are the seekers of higher truth, higher freedom. That is the spirit of Uranus. And so, this is the energy. Yes, war can happen, or the total new happy world emerging, right? It's like anything can happen under this Uranus in Gemini. And then also this is not just a repetition of the past, because yes, the last time Uranus was in Gemini was around that World War II, and then when the atomic bomb got dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Experimentation theme of Uranus is big. But at the same time, at that point, Saturn and Neptune were not in these early degrees of Aries. Pluto was not in the early degrees of Aquarius. All those early degrees planets placement and this energy is the last time only happened over 6,000 years ago. This is a cosmic reset point. And then I hope we are taking a path of evolution, not repetition. And then we, each one of us holds, we need to keep working with that energy individually, internally within each of us to break that pattern of that past. Yes, because whatever we do to each of us has an influence to the collective, because we are energetic beings and we are inseparable from each other, from one another. So this is the quantum leap point of the week. This week started with the July 777 portal. 7 is a number ruled by Neptune. This beautiful, creative, artistic, spiritual energy. The player that Neptune dissolves boundary, this realm, the other realm, what's real, what's unreal, all that. But we want to keep seeing it's the trusting in the unknown. Keep dreaming big, at the same time have faith in the big, have faith in the cosmos, right? The unimaginable space of the unknown. Have faith in it and keep your crown rooted and grounded in that space, right? So that's important. And then under this energy, Uranus moved into Gemini and Venus is trining Pluto, and we spoke about that. But this is kind of like re-evaluation of our own heart. In a way, we are shedding what is no longer aligning with our heart. It's not about releasing and letting go and purging, but embracing our love, embracing what we care about, embracing all, even embrace your attachment, period. Embrace any attachment that you hold as some kind of we struggle to release attachments and let it go, cord cutting, and sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes that practice itself generate a lot of resistance, right? Because it's so hard to let go. So this is the moment to turn it around and embrace the fact that you cannot let it go. Embrace the fact that you are feeling shitty if you are. Let go of any fighting internally, but embrace everything with your open, wild heart and love them all. Love. Love worry, love fear, love all those gooey emotions as what we experience as humans. Love them all. That's kind of another high kind of archetype of Pluto Venus connection, I think, tapping into this wildly wide open heart to accept and embrace wholeheartedly, whether it is the fact that it is kind of stabbing our heart, it is giving us all the darkness and heavy primordial force, right? Eruptive, chaotic force. Pluto, just love it all. That kind of energy is here with us. And then on July 10th, around 4:36 p.m. in the Eastern time zone, we are having a Capricorn full moon at 18 degrees and 15 minutes of Capricorn. This Capricorn full moon is always a little difficult, right? Moon is in the opposing sign from her home, which is Cancer. So it can bring up what we are resisting and what we are feeling, this kind of resentment in a way. Tapping into that wild, open, vulnerable heart can be a little difficult. It can be a little guarding with moon in Capricorn. But this full moon aligns with the North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo. So this is very, in a way, purgative. This dragon tail is sweeping all the necessary identities and patterns and habits that we've kind of trapped ourselves in, because Mars is in Virgo, close to, not too close, but closely, Mars is approaching to be in conjunction with South Node in Virgo later on. But this is the energy that we are really leaving and shattering certain aspects of our humanness in a way. I'm feeling a lot with this Mars South Node in Virgo and this Capricorn full moon aligning with this Virgo South Node energy. It's how we were told to live, who we were as humans, the identity, the morality, all those kind of what is good, what is not good, all those things that established humanity or how we've lived up to this point. There are so many things though that we consciously or unconsciously follow, which can take us far away from our very authentic, free spirit of who we are. We push certain aspects of ourselves because it is considered as morally wrong societally or culturally or all that, right? Culture is composed of all those like societally conditioned ideas, and I feel like this month is a really big shattering month, releasing month. What is it that is holding me back? And then bringing our really awareness and awareness to it so that we can notice, because so many conditioned idea that we follow is unconscious. We are unconscious of. So we want to bring our awareness and consciousness into those. And this is the point, right? All those outer planets in the new sign. We are resetting our setting. We are resetting our internal setting. We are redefining who we are. We are redefining our dreams. We are redefining this world, what we believe, what is true, what is unreal, like all the confusing state that we are in. But this is the moment of deep internal reflection, because this Capricorn full moon is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is barely moving under this Capricorn full moon, right? This can be a really good shattering of the old factors and old solid foundation. And then at the end of the week, Saturn goes retrograde on the 13th of July. That is gonna be the next Sunday, and this is a big week. I mean, July is a big week, but those two planets, right, Neptune now in retrograde and Saturn is joining to go retrograde, and they are close together. These are really energy of some kind of a gear switching, clicking, turning. It can turn into unexpected places, and it can make us kind of like question, like, who am I? Who am I really? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? What is this world about? Like all that kind of crazy reflective moments that we are under, but keep the curiosity theme of Gemini, Uranus in Gemini high, curiosity, and it's like explorative energy, right? Keep that explorative force strong, because we all came down here as a spirit, to explore and experiment and evolve and to ascend and remember who we were, right? It's all a journey, it's all a play, it's a game, and it's good for us to remember that lightheartedness, and we keep bringing our energy toward that, because soon Mercury will be in retrograde the following week, and the Magician card showing up. Yes, Mercury. As I said about Mercury, Mercury is the ruling planet of the Magician card, and Magician is the spirit that we want to tap in this week, because Magician, the harmonies, the magic is in our mind. Uranus moving into Gemini, mind ruled sign, Mercury ruled sign, and then this is the moment that we are really turning, right, seeing our mind as philosopher's stone, and as an alchemist, knowing all the tools that we need to make magic happen is within us. Turn into the internal fire, the magic wand, passion, the desire, yearning, and like deep yearning to connect to the higher truth. The sword is the air element, the wind element, the change element, the truth element, the discernment element, clarity of the mind, right? And then the cup represents our feelings and emotions, and our vibration, our jolt of excitement and love, right? The energy, the magnetic force of love. And then also intuitive and intuitive essence, right? Just trust essence, right? Cups are the cups, water descends. Cups is like we need to be receptive to receive guidance and messages. So we want to keep that under check, not pushing so hard, but trust, so that we receive. And then the earth and pentacle, right? Those are the four suits. The Magician card holds those four elements and four suits right on in front of a table of the Magician in Rider's deck. And then representing, we have all those tools to create any magic or alchemize anything. And then Pentacle energy is the trusting the power of the earth, the magic of the earth. We belong there. This earth is magical. This universe, the eternity is the mystery, and then we belong there. We are that. And this is the moment that we keep our mind crystal clear. Hold on to your magic wand and raise your magic wand into the cosmic space and receive downloads of information from the eternal cosmic space. And then it's like a lightning bolt, aha moment, revelation moment, awakening moment, shift of perception, new inspiration can come through this week. Keep your mind open. So we need to delete, some kind of an energy. We feel stuck, not digging into it, but just choose to walk away from that density and trust that this problem too will be solved by our own magic. So trust our magic, leave that behind a little bit. When the time comes, this will be solved, and then everything is gonna go fine. So back of the deck was the Knight of Swords, so it's like that kind of discernment is important. Choose what you give your life to by discerning your focus and where you put your attentions to. And in the meanwhile, keep being that magician self. Walk like the magician. Wear that cape, imaginary cape, and then walk in that spirit of the magician, because as Uranus are just moved into this 0 degrees of Gemini, I mean, Uranus in Gemini is the magician archetype itself. Uranus is sometimes connected to the Fool card. Fool card is ruled by Uranus, and the magician is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury, Uranus in Gemini. This is the moment that we are turning and using our mind differently so that we can experiment to make all the magic and miracles happen. In order for us to do that, we must trust the power that lies within. May we commit to do that this week. It's going to be a powerful, powerful week of shift and change and turning around. Things can shift and turn into all sorts of different places, but trust the flow, trust the wind that's carrying us into this and direction and that direction. Keep dancing with the wind. Yes. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.